Welcome to the Crypt of Wax, where we cover the latest metal releases for your ears, you metal maniacs. Today we are talking about Burning Death with the self-titled album Burning Death. 8 songs, just shy of 30 minutes. Perfect sort of length for a kind of thrashy album. But yeah, this is black and deathy thrash. Heavy old school influence, apparently spewing anti-Christian propaganda, everything you kind of want from a thrash metal record, isn't that right, Michael?
It is indeed. I was just going to see if you can do the whole episode. I was just going to sit and look at you. It's a very, very. I don't know what to say. I thought I had something more to say about it, but it's a very good album for this sort of thing, isn't it?
Yeah. So those new here, we decide to pick an album off air. We don't talk about it. We come in here and talk about it. So it's more of a discussion rather than like this is a review of this band. So I had no idea what Mike was feeling going into this, but you're a fan, are you?
I am. Yeah. Do you know what? I don't know if it hooked me in, but I took an edible right just before I listened to this for the first time.
I'll do
I
it.
really enjoyed it. It was just like riff after riff, like it was fucking great. And actually, sober listening to it, I enjoyed it as well. I thought it was a really thrash for me. I really like it on paper, like black and thrash, but when it comes to listening to it, I feel like my attention can wane a bit,
Yeah.
and I find it hard to stick throughout a whole album. But I felt with this one, I think like in the sense the amount of songs and the fact it was like half an hour was the perfect length really to kind of keep me there for the whole thing.
I'm in the exact same boat with you and thrash. Like it, my attention span can wane if it's not 100% to my taste.
Three or four songs, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Normally,
yeah, it's probably about right. I'm not gonna lie, I did have to really focus to get through this whole album, but I did really enjoy it. Like this is the kind of thrash that I actually really enjoy. Like old school worship. I mean, I guess we'll talk vocally first because I think they're such a strong influence on this, strong like part of this band. They sort of sit somewhere between like thrash and death metal. There's like a gruffness and a roughness, but there's like elements of the two like really thrown in. You've got that really old school thrash / heavy metal wail.
He does it so well as well.
It nails it. I was going to ask you, how do you like about that? Because you're not normally a huge fan of that type of thing.
I would say for me, this is one of the best I've ever heard someone do it. And also, he does it, and then he does the whole Tom Araya Slayer sort of wail bit as well.
Yeah,
like he sort of occasionally adds that on the end of it as well, and it sounds fucking great. And it's the placement of it. What I found, it wasn't always the case, but often, and the band did this so well. They'd be doing like a different pace, different sort of section, and then they'd kind of burst back into the thrash bits, sort of almost all of a sudden, and it would usually time with he would do that wail, when it goes, and it just made it sound so satisfying, so enjoyable. I think vocally it really elevated this album for me in general. Like the vocals really pushed it up to the next level for me.
I agree. I think not to say that the musicianship wasn't on point, because it really was. Like the riffs were really good. It was the playing was really tight. The solos were good, very Kerry King-esque in the sense that they sort of were just doing their own thing, and they weren't necessarily memorable.
Yeah, but that's what you want, right? That's what I love in this sort of stuff, though. Just that chaotic sort of wailing solo.
Carnage.
It's great.
But yeah, I think the vocals really did elevate the band. I loved that kind of wail, that heavy metal wail. There was a moment in track 5 where he did do a deeper death metal vocal, and it was
he did. Yeah,
I didn't like that. I'm gonna that was probably my least favorite bit on the record. I think his vocals were
bad though.
I thought his vocals were so good elsewhere, And when he
Didn't
did
need to do
that,
it.
yeah, it because it was such a one-time thing, and it just felt really disconnected from the rest of
Mm-mm.
the record. Not to say it was like a bad vocal, I just didn't like the inclusion of it.
That he chucked it in there.
Yeah. How did you feel on that bit?
I liked it. It stuck out because I think it was the only time he did it,
Yeah,
right?
it was. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, but I had no problem with it. I thought he did it well.
Yeah. There was a lot of death metal worship in the riffs as well, like old school death
Yeah.
metal. There was a lot of like kind of Morbid Angel and death influence like kind of thrown in there. I mean, whether that was intentional or not, I'm unsure, but you'd imagine so, wouldn't you? Because the whole sound is quite old school drenched.
You had that. You had like, especially I think it was the final track, Final Sacrament. You had like the verse riff was like a single note, kind of riff, and it was more down that old school death metal vibe as opposed to like a more of a a tremolo pick blackened sort of thing. Um, it was interesting. I listened to this thinking it was going to be just like a blackened thrash thing, but I
Yeah.
was, as the album went on, picking out more and more old school death metal influences as well.
For me, it was more
It was
death metal than black metal, like
Yeah,
influence throughout.
I agree.
But there were,
I mean, maybe there was first wave black metal influence in there, wasn't there?
yeah,
It was more
yeah.
that than the second. There wasn't really any of the kind of second wave or onwards type. There wasn't that icy sort of thing at all.
No, no.
Just maybe the early days of it.
Yeah, no, agreed. Yeah, the proto black, which sort of did lean more to thrash somewhat
Yeah,
in those days anyway, which is where that sound sort of was
yeah,
coming from. But yeah, like there was that song you mentioned, the Final Sacrament. There was that really cool. The verse riff was great. It was quite
yeah,
Slayer-esque. There was like a really cool descending run in it. It was awesome. But they did
yeah,
actually
yeah, yeah.
go quite blackened after that. Everything sort of cut out, and that tremolo did come in. It was like one of the only times that
Yeah.
real tremolo was kind of put there. Did you have a standout song, Mike, on this?
Probably. I mean, do you know what? This is one of those where each time I listened through it, I kind of picked out another one
Yeah.
that I liked the most. But probably track two, Vengeance of the Inferno. Um, really good. I loved his like ooh. He did it at the beginning when it came in. It sounded like he got kicked in the balls, but in a good way. It was a really a really good one of those.
That song was like, when songs really match the title of the track, like
Yeah,
it felt hot. It felt like it was like an angry
yeah.
that it was like unrelenting speed. There was like I don't know the actual term. Like when the riffs are quite hammer-on-y and widdly. Like what's the term
Yeah.
for that? I don't know. But a lot of the riffs in that had that kind of intricacy with the speed, with the kind
Mm.
of hammer-on whittles, which yeah, it kind of did give it an edge. I think the following track.
Eh,
Go on.
well, no, I was going to say it had like the riff overall had like a very old school heavy metal feel to it as well.
There was a lot of that throughout, of that
Yeah,
influence drawn throughout. But yeah, I
yeah,
was gonna say my favorite track was the one after Death is Salvation, track 3. What I liked when this band did, and they didn't do it that often, but they would slow the pace down, and it would be either like
yeah,
a bit more like two-step esque, or just a kind of more
yeah,
groove like old school death metal bit.
yeah.
And they did a really cool like two-step moment in this track around 2 minutes, and there was like a vocal laugh that led into that moment, which he actually did.
They do that a couple of
I was going to
times.
say,
They do that
yeah,
laugh a couple of times, and really well as well.
yeah,
It's one of those things that can either sound quite shit or it sounds cool. And his ones were really good.
really committed, man. I think, yeah, like we touched on vocally, like it's little things like that and the wails and like that just made this album kind of stand up a little bit
Yeah,
more. Is this the first thing they've done? Because I think they've been a band since 2021, but I couldn't see much
it looks
info on
like
them.
it. According to Metallum, yeah, this is their kind of debut. They've been in anything? Oh, well, they've been in other stuff. What else have they been in?
That yeah,
Active Impalement. So maybe that was a band that was keeping them busy for a while.
I see. Yeah, interesting to
Who are
see.
they? They're like a Death Doom band. Yeah, they've done a lot more.
Okay. That might
Yeah,
explain it. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see like how well received this record is. Like, I hope it doesn't just sort of like fall into obscurity, because it is. like there's a lot here that is I think a lot of fans of like thrash and like old school thrash and proto black metal would really enjoy.
I liked it, man. I'm going through a bit of a phase of listening to old school Slayer, and this really sort of scratched the same itch for me.
Oh, so that'd be right up there for you.
In ways more so in certain aspects. I thought they kind of really nailed that whole like old school worship thing.
Sounds more old school than old school Slayer. That's it's quite some praise.
Well, also I thought the production was very good on this as well.
Quite. I don't want to say clean, but it was very sonically coherent. Like you could
Yeah,
pick out everything. Like the guitar work was very fast, but you could make out every pick. Which
well, the performance was good as well, man. The guitar playing was tight.
yeah, it was very tight. It was very tight. Yeah, it was all round great, man. I think definitely check this one out for fans of early thrash or proto black metal or even like old school death metal. It's just got that old school. If you want something old school and like that's going to hit you, it's no nonsense, is it? This record, it's just
No, exactly.
no,
Meat and potatoes,
yeah,
I think is the term, isn't it?
no interludes, no downtime. Just as soon as it
Yeah,
comes
I
on,
like that
boom.
they didn't do that. I like that they didn't feel the need to put in some sort of mellow interlude or I mean that works for certain bands and certain styles, but on this I don't want to hear that. I just want to hear
Yeah,
fucking riffs,
yeah.
and that's what they did.
They really did. But yeah, if you got to this point in the video, give a like. It helps us out a lot. Let us know in the comments if you do check this one out, what you thought of it. And oh, Mike, I was going to ask you actually. Do you think
Mm.
what did you think of the album artwork?
Um, I sort of I don't think the logo went well with it, if you know what I mean.
I agree. I like the logo in isolation. I think it's a really cool
Yeah,
logo, but I feel like the artwork almost lets the record down a little bit.
it felt like a bit of a mismatch.
Yeah. I wouldn't be inclined to check it out if I didn't know, if I wasn't just checking it out, if I just saw it. Because
Yeah,
I'd
yeah, yeah.
kind of assume it's not what this is.
What would you think it was from that?
Quite, quite modern black metal, like quite well
Right.
produced black metal that just wouldn't really be for
Yeah,
my
yeah, yeah.
tastes. But it's not. I mean, it's not
Yeah, I
that
know
at
what you
all.
mean.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not really a criticism, but I think maybe kind of different artwork maybe might help. But yeah, if you got to this point in this in the video, give a like or subscribe if you fancy it. We put out videos every Wednesday and
Both. Do both.
yeah, we'll do both as Mike says. We put out videos every Wednesday and Friday covering the latest metal releases. But yeah, we will catch you in the next one.